Part 1, titled, Right and Wrong as a Clue to the Meaning of the Universe. Chapter 4. What Lies Behind the Law? Hello everyone, and welcome to our journey through C.S. Lewis' book, Mere Christianity. In this video, we're going to explore Chapter 4, What Lies Behind the Law, where Lewis delves deeper into the source of the moral law and what it tells us about the nature of God in the universe. Lewis begins this chapter by telling the story of a man who sees a signpost pointing towards a town he wants to reach. He can't see the town itself, but he knows it exists because of the signpost. In the same way, Lewis argues that we can infer the existence of God in the moral law from the clues we see in the world around us. According to Lewis, there are two possibilities for what lies behind the moral law. Either the universe is meaningless, and the moral law is just a human invention, or there is a God who created the universe and imbued it with this moral law. Lewis argues that the second option is the more plausible one, based on the evidence of the world around us. He points to the fact that the moral law seems to be universal across different cultures and times, suggesting that it is not just a human invention. He also argues that the moral law seems to be deeply ingrained in our nature, suggesting that it comes from something beyond ourselves. Lewis goes on to argue that if there is a God who created the universe and gave us this moral law, it tells us that God is good and desires us to be good as well. He also argues that God is a personal being who cares about us and desires a relationship with us. In this chapter, Lewis makes some profound statements about the nature of the moral law and God's role in it. Here are some of the most insightful quotes from Chapter 4. The moral law does not give us any grounds for thinking that God is good, in the sense of being indulgent, or soft, or sympathetic. There is nothing indulgent about the moral law. It is as hard as nails. Page 16. Lewis is making the point here that the moral law is not about being soft or indulgent. It's about what is right and wrong, and it's something that we all have to follow, no matter how difficult it may be. If we ask, why ought I to be unselfish? And you reply, because it is good for society. We may then ask, why should I care what's good for society except when it happens to pay me personally? And then you will have to say, because you ought to be unselfish, which simply brings us back to where we started. You are appealing to something beyond self-interest, which is precisely what we mean by unselfish. Page 19. Lewis is pointing out here that there is something beyond self-interest that drives us to be unselfish. We do it because it's the right thing to do, not just because it benefits us personally. The Christian, however, does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us. Just as the roof of a sunhouse does not attract the sun because it is bright, but becomes bright because the sun shines on it. Page 21. This quote highlights the Christian view that God doesn't love us because we are good, but that he makes us good because he loves us. It's a powerful statement about the nature of God's love and how it can transform us. In conclusion, Chapter 4 of Mere Christianity provides some fascinating insights into the source of the moral law and what it tells us about the nature of God in the universe. The quotes we've explored give us a taste of the depth and wisdom that Lewis brings to this topic. His argument that the existence of the moral law points towards the existence of a creator who desires us to live according to that law is a compelling one. It reminds us that our actions have consequences beyond this life and that there is a higher purpose to our existence. One example Lewis uses in this chapter to illustrate the importance of the moral law is that of a fleet of ships. He argues that, just as ships need to follow a certain set of rules to avoid collisions and navigate safely, human beings also need to follow a set of moral rules to live together in harmony and avoid chaos. This analogy highlights the importance of the moral law in ensuring the flourishing of human society. Another example he uses is that of a piano. A piano is designed with a certain set of rules or laws, such as the way the keys are arranged and the way the strings vibrate, which allow it to produce beautiful music. In the same way, Lewis argues, human beings are designed to live according to a certain set of moral laws that allow us to live fulfilling lives and achieve our full potential. Overall, Chapter 4 of Mere Christianity is a thought-provoking exploration of the moral law and its source. It challenges us to think deeply about the nature of the universe and the purpose of our existence. As Lewis writes, we have cause to be uneasy, page 23. But this unease can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. So, to sum up, let me leave you with 3 quotes from Chapter 4 of Mere Christianity. The moral law does not give us any grounds for thinking that God is good, in the sense of being indulgent, or soft, or sympathetic. There is nothing indulgent about the moral law. It is as hard as nails. Page 16. If you are a nice person, if virtue comes easily to you, beware. Much is expected from those to whom much is given. Page 18. The Christian, however, does not think God will love us because we are good, but that God will make us good because he loves us. Just as the roof of a sun house does not attract the sun because it is bright, but becomes bright because the sun shines on it. Page 21. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Chapter 4 of Mere Christianity. I hope you found it inspiring, creative, informative, and maybe even a little humorous at times. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll explore Chapter 5. We have cause to be uneasy. Thanks for watching.